Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. Well, we were on the mafia theme for a while, and I wanted to stay on there, but I got a comment from one of the Daniel Staub viewers, and her name is Bridget Wright. And Bridget writes, and we're going to put it up over here. Bridget writes, she, meaning the beast, Daniel Staub, she was bullied for her past big time on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. She got her karma, ... Now, let it go, dude. Period. No can do, Miss Wright. In fact, Miss Wright, I think you're wrong. And I'll tell you why I think you're wrong. Everybody deserves a first chance, second chance, third chance. You know, after she got locked up in Miami, that would have been enough when she was looking at 25 years to set anybody straight, but not that beast. Oh, no, not her. She continued to lie her entire life, hurting people and leaving destruction everywhere she goes. Everywhere she goes. The last time I did a video on the beast was August 5th, 2021. And I went on to do what this channel is really about, and it's about true crime and me being an undercover confidential informant. And I put her in because, of course, she committed a big crime. I mean, kidnapping was once a crime that was punishable by the death penalty. So let's just get things straight here. If I saw that Daniel Staub straightened her life out, I would leave her alone. But she's got all these vehicles, her TV show, her podcast, to spread lies and hurt people. That's not right. It's not right. And today we're going to tell a Daniel Staub video on what she did to me. It was 1986, and we were both doing cocaine like crazy. She was a stripper in Queens at a strip club by the name of Gallagher's. That's it right there. And she was doing a whole lot more than stripping down in the back. I mean, so anyway, it was in September of 19, I'm a car guy. Like I'm a car nut. I love cars. At that time, in September of 1986, I bought my brand new 928 S4 Porsche, black on black, BBS wheels. I had an $8,000 stereo system in there. I had a $5,000 cellular phone set up, the Motorola 8000 with the coffin. You put it on, it boosted up to 3 watts. I mean, that car had headers. I had over $100,000 in that car. Fancy car. It was badass. So one day, I find out, I don't remember exactly how it happened, and I was always carrying a gun. One time she told me to go F myself and she's gonna go with some guy or something like that. So I pulled up to Gallagher's strip club, and the dressing room in that strip club was downstairs in the basement. So I, at that time, thought I was a friggin' Miami Vice star. I thought I was above the law, by the law. I thought I could do anything I want, and pretty much I did. No matter what I did, the government got me out of it, got me out of the troubles, dismissed all my court cases. With this one, I almost didn't get dismissed. And that's right, I wound up getting arrested. So I go down, I go into the place. I got a little BP 25 Beretta, and I didn't have a round chambered in the weapon. I didn't have it chambered, which meant I would have to take this hand to go to this hand and pull the slide back to chamber it in order for it to fire. So I go down, she goes into the bar. I think I dropped her off. I don't know. She goes in, and I go, oh yeah, and I go right behind her. She runs down the stairs. I start going down the stairs. And here comes Eddie the bouncer. 500 pounds, this guy was. Eddie the bouncer. So I thought who I was, and I start down the staircase. He pushes me up. Then we get to the top of the staircase. He pins me. And now I'm going to shoot him. That's how out of my mind I was. He's got me up against the wall, and he's pushing all his weight. And when I say 500 pounds, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but not much. This guy was huge. And he had me pushed up against the wall, and I couldn't breathe. I pulled out the gun. His arms, I went under his arm. I pulled out the gun and put it right to his head. And I said, get off me, get off me. He wouldn't do it. I felt like I was blacking out, and I was ready to pass out because I couldn't breathe. So then I took the gun, and I went pop, pop, pop. And he turned, and he saw the gun. He was like, the gun was right there. It was a little gun, but it would have killed him, 25. And he started shaking, and I pushed him off, and I left. So 2 days later, now I'm not going, now we had a fight. This particular strip club was on Queens Boulevard and like 39th Street. And Queens Boulevard is a big boulevard. They have a elevated subway system in the middle of it. So I go there with my two friends, and she's in the club. You know, I told her not to go in there. I didn't want her to go there. I don't know what kind of argument. All I know is I wanted her out of there. Yep, I wanted her out of there. Now, this guy, Eddie, was CCW. He had a concealed weapons permit. He had a gun. And on this particular night, there was an off-duty New York City cop and another guy with a CCW in the bar. So there's 3 guns in that bar that could have shot me justifiably. So told my friend to wait in my brand new Porsche, brand new. I mean, so this must have been October of 1986. That's when this happened. So John had given me his Uzi. And in 1986, they just came out, had a 32-round clip. It was full automatic. It had the $150 part you put in there. This was a friggin' machine gun. So what does idiot do? So I go in there. I kick the front door open. Now, this bar was an oval bar, and it was packed 4 deep. And I go into one. I kick the one door open, I got the gun, and I go into the vestibule. I kick the second one. Now I'm in the bar. And just as I'm in the bar, she's getting up and ready to get on a pole. She's got the pole. And I go, come down here. And I don't have the gun. I'm not waving the gun. I got the gun here. Fuck you, F you, what today? Get the fuck out of there. And I, like the Uzi was like a magic wand. So I moved my hand. Now I got it out. And that clip was 30-round clip. And I got it. I get out. And I went like this. And as I went like this, cops, CCW, everybody just disappeared like a magic. It was like a magic eraser. Woo! Everybody went down. Everybody went down. I was like, except her. She was up on the stage, and she was hiding behind the friggin' pole. And I go, get out, get out. Get dressed and come outside. Like, I was so out of touch with reality back then that I really didn't think anything was going to happen. But, of course, everybody called the cops. So now the cops are coming. So now I take the gun, and I walk across the street. I give it to my friend. He's got the gun on the other side of Queens Boulevard. And he knows what's going to happen. So now the cops show up. The cops pulled up. Now I'm on the other side of Queens Boulevard. Gave my friend and his girlfriend my gun. And I go walking over there like everything's going to be like, because in my mind, I'm thinking police. I work for the police. I am a police. I'm thinking everything's going to be good. So as I walk across Queens Boulevard, I walk under the elevated subway system. And now I'm right on Queens Boulevard. And everybody goes, that's him, that's him. So I'm still walking, and there's a big Irish cop there. And then this other cop car is just pulling up. They get out. I don't notice them. So that cop pulled like cut me off. He got out and he ran around the back, and it was a black cop, and his name was Officer Bell from the 108th Police Precinct, New York City. And he grabbed me by the neck. Meanwhile, the big Irish cop is coming towards me, and Officer Bell wasn't that big. I took Officer Bell, and I didn't know it was a cop. All I saw was his arm, and I threw him over his police car. And as he's going, his gun came out of the holster. I mean, he's going, and I'm going, oh shit. Now reality is starting to set in. He goes over the car, and the next thing I know, I said, hey, boom, I get slammed by this big 6'6" Irish cop, boom, and they start tuning me up. I mean, they're beating the crap out of me after they saw that. So now here comes Daniel Staub. Yeah, that's him. You're not going to be able to do anything to him. He works for the DA and the FBI. He's above the law. And he said, now by this time, sergeants have shown up, and I think even a lieutenant showed up. And I'm in the back of the police car by this time. And all she's saying is, they're going to get him out. He does whatever he wants, and they keep getting him out. And then I heard the lieutenant. I know he was lieutenant because he had a white shirt. White shirts, and that means lieutenant and up. And he goes over to the car and he goes, no, you ain't going nowhere. Nobody puts his hand on one of my cops. So now I'm beat up real bad. And they take me to the precinct. And all of a sudden, I can hear the walkie-talkies in the precinct that there's a black Porsche on fire on 39th Street and Queens Boulevard. And I know it's my car. I know it. So what harder idiot bouncers did, they rolled up a newspaper, stuck it between the seat and the console, lit it on fire, and closed the door. They closed the door, but the windows were up. So, I mean, it wasn't that much. It was $30,000 worth of damage. I made money. Anyway, so my car's on fire. Now I'm really pissed. Now I'm in there knowing that's my car. I'm really pissed off. And so Daniel Staub is now in the precinct, and she's telling the cops, he's this, he's that, you can't, and she's just pumping them up. And then here comes my wife, Beth, and she shows up, and the cops are telling her the same thing. He's going to jail. Nobody, with his record, he's going to jail. I'm telling you right now, there's not going to be no deal, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so assault on a police officer, I'm probably looking at 4 years, 5 years. I don't know what that carries. So, but I did get out of it. So now, somewhere in the time, when the DEA shows up, and they're thinking they're gonna just squash this. No. Then they took me in an ambulance to Elmhurst Hospital, because I was all beat up. So they had to do a CAT scan. I mean, I looked like Quasimodo. My whole face was up. So who shows up? Guess who was the arresting officer? Yep, Officer Bell. God bless this guy. He was just like the coolest guy. I mean, so now he shows up. I'm all beat up. He looks at me, and I haven't seen a mirror, so I don't know how bad I look. And he looks at me like, oh, damn. Ooh, they beat the crap out of you. And so I immediately apologized. He knew who I was. And I said, dude, you grabbed me from behind. I work with police. And now I'm in the hospital maybe 3 hours, and he was the arresting officer. So we're talking. And we're talking, and I'm telling him my stories, just like I tell you guys. I'm telling him more. And he's going, wow, that's pretty cool. He said, don't worry about it. I didn't get hurt, but he ripped his uniform. I think he ripped his pant leg, his knee, and his elbow. And then he was going, man, you took me by surprise. I don't know how you threw me over. I said, how I threw you over? You're 5'7" and 140 pounds. That's how I threw you over. I didn't say that to him. So we're talking. And I said, hey, could you know, this is not me. I don't go around beating up cops. I didn't know. You grabbed me from behind. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I apologize. He goes, no problem. I give him Tom Slavenky's phone number. He calls Tom Slavenky. Then I go to my arraignment. He went there to the arraignment. My bail was $4,000. I bailed out. And then he spoke to Tom Slavenky. They spoke to the ADA in Queens. Dismissed it. After, I couldn't believe I got away with that after Daniel Staub just was like pouring salt on the wounds. You can't do nothing to him. You can't. And I got out of it only because of Officer Bell. And if you see this Officer Bell, thank you so much. It's been, 86, 34 years ago. He was really a good cop. He let me go. So I thought you guys would find this to be a pretty interesting story. I haven't done a Daniel Staub story in a while. I really didn't see no need to, but there's plenty more. But now, since I'm getting messages like this, leave her alone, dude, period. No, that just set me off. That's why I'm doing this. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Push the button. Don't be afraid. It's not going to bite. Just push that button and show it who's boss. Buttons are made to be pushed. God knows. Daniel Staub pushed my button so many times. I forget if I had $1 for every time. But anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. And thanks for tuning in. God bless you guys. Mwah.